Last but not least is Raven against Dustin Rhodes.
A pretty solid mid-card feud. We call that the Raven effect.
That's where the move name comes from.
Yeah. So, Raven. This is ridiculous.
Why?
He just keeps losing.
He won on the pay-per-view.
I know, but on the build-up, he just loses.
He did lose to... Who did he lose to? Eric Watts. That's who he lost to.
He just keeps losing. He's losing upwards to the title. It's a very weird build.
It's strange. It is strange. Because he beats Dustin Rhodes here, but he may not beat Dustin Rhodes next month. We'll get to that. On the first Impact, January 21st, he faces Cassidy Riley. Raven transitions from an ankle lock to the Raven effect, pins Riley after pulling him up twice. Then he broke Riley's fingers.
Yeah, that was cool.
I did appreciate that he just broke his fingers.
Raven, I do really love Raven's presentation besides the losing right now. If he was just a guy winning everything, that'd be a better build. But his look, his viciousness, it's all coming together here.
We also had a tremendous Raven moment on Hard to Kill, where
I saw that.
Where Steve Macklin and Rich Swann are brawling outside center stage on the streets of Atlanta, and then Raven just chimes in. It's like, I hope they get hit by a car.
And he says it with a glee in his voice.
He sure did.
He's like, I hope they want to get hit by a car.
If you look at the version on Instagram, I did deliberately clip it so that it literally ends on Raven saying, I hope he gets hit by a car. It's a great punchline to that video.
And a hell of a spot too.
Yeah, the cutter onto concrete. It's like all those videos of people wrestling in the real world. They all do RKOs.
Oh my gosh. It is maybe the most popular move of all time.
So yeah, Raven broke his fingers and grabbed a chair before Dustin Rhodes made the save. Yeah. It's a little late, buddy. His fingers are already broken.
They seem to be trying to do something with Cassidy Riley.
Yeah, the idea is that he's going to be the apprentice of Dustin Rhodes. Or will he?
Oh my gosh.
From PW Torch, there is a lot of second guessing of Dusty pushing Dustin, who friends still say hasn't recovered emotionally from being released by WWE. Dustin isn't impressing anyone with his energy level or enthusiasm inside or outside of the ring, but Dusty is pushing him for obvious family reasons.
I can't speak to how he is outside the ring, but I feel like he's delivered inside the ring.
He's not having great matches, but his matches are fine. They're not offensive.
But also, most people aren't having great matches.
Every TV match is 2 stars, so I can't give out to him.
I think he's just a fine mid-card addition.
And yeah, all of his pay-per-view matches are he works a body part, very traditional pro wrestling match.
That's not bad.
So next episode of Impact, the Naturals defeat Dustin Rhodes and Cassidy Riley.
Hey, well, at least the Naturals got to win.
It was meant to be Watts, but Watts has a separated shoulder from the pay-per-view. We did do the eulogy for Watts slightly too early. This is his last appearance rather than the pay-per-view. But
hey, yeah, remember when...
We did have one more little treat of Eric Watts walking out with his shoulder in a sling.
Hey, I remember when Eric Watts walked out with his shoulder in a sling.
Whoa, that was on this show.
Yep, they're good. We're all updated.
I did appreciate how Watts wasn't wrestling because of a separated shoulder, but Riley was wrestling, even though Raven broke his fingers last week.
Oh, the broken fingers aren't as bad.
You can just tape them up, you're fine.
You can fight someone with broken fingers. I'd hesitate about doing it with the dislocated shoulder.
So the finish of the opening tag on this match was Abyss shows up, brawls away with Jeff Hardy, Kid Cash and Lance Hoyt pin Chris Sabin. The finish of this tag later in the show was Raven shows up, brawls with Dustin Rhodes, and then that allows the Naturals to pin Cassidy Riley with the Natural Disaster. Exact same finish and 2 tag matches on the same show. Good job, guys.
Fun. Good. Oh, this is your man. This is your Dusty Rhodes booking here.
I blame the agents. Whoever agented the matches did not communicate with the different finishes. I'm sure Dusty was just like, Naturals go over, and Raven shows up. And then whoever laid out that finish, shame on them. It's probably like Shane Douglas's fault.
Oh, classic Jeff Jarrett defender.
February 4th, Cassidy Riley is sitting down with Dustin. And Raven comes back.
I like this segment. It's dumb.
Yeah, Raven comes out and is like, I'm so sorry about what happened to your fingers. It was an accident.
It was an accident as I deliberately stood above you and broke them.
So yeah, they'll face it against all odds. It will be Raven versus Dustin Rhodes. And they were in the main event 6-man tag. It was AEW and Dustin Rhodes defeating Kid Cash, Lance Hoyt, and Raven after Dustin pinned Raven with his running bulldog.
Yeah.
Which ultimately tipped off the finish because on the pay-per-view, Raven beat Dustin.
Yeah.
Leg work match, Liam.
I like Raven's ankle lock.
Do you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's better than the other thing he was doing.
What other thing was he doing?
He was doing like another submission for a bit there.
Was he?
Yeah.
What?
Wasn't he doing like an arm thing?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but I thought he was doing an arm thing, and I prefer the ankle lock. So there's something like enjoyable about watching someone who isn't like a super like athlete looking guy like Kurt Angle doing an ankle lock, or like a Ken Shamrock. Like just this weird creep is just like grabbing onto an ankle, and he does the standing version, which is way better than the sitting down into it version.
So this match, Raven targets the leg with an ankle lock. Dustin goes for an ankle lock of his own. Raven rolls through. Dustin collides with the turnbuckles, and then Raven grabs a pin with his feet in the ropes. Post-match, Raven locks Rhodes in a straitjacket. The man has a great grasp of how to tie a straitjacket.
Yeah, he's done it before. He's gotten out of them before. This is a man who knows how a straitjacket works.
Like, there are a lot less complicated spots involving a lot less complicated props in pro wrestling that go much worse than Raven tying Rhodes in a straitjacket. Because not only does he tie him in a straitjacket, he also then unties it to tie him to the turnbuckle so that he can whip him. And all of that absolutely seamless. This man knows how to handle a straitjacket.
It's right into that how you will.
It's actually remarkable how well he handles a straitjacket. Security eventually ran him off after he tried to whip him. Perhaps building to a strap match next month. You never know.